Evening Troopers. I'm fat. In fact, I'm basically just a high-functioning fried breakfast in a helmet. Been a bit of a drought recently, games-wise, inside the man cave, because I finished things like Red Dead, and then I played Arkham Knight, and then I had an empty period. And I hate to admit it, but I've been playing a lot of Fallout Shelter, which is essentially a mobile game. So I feel a bit stupid playing on a PS4, essentially a mobile game, but I'm genuinely getting a lot of it, although I'm starting to wear a bit thin now, but that's how I am with games anyway. But the fact is, I'm a really big Fallout. By and large, I'm a really big Fallout fan. Because I'm really into post-nuclear stuff in general, and I always have been, ever since I was tiny. And that's weird in a way, because not many 6-year-olds should know about nuclear war, but I was into it all the way back as a kid. But it was everywhere when I was born in 77, and we were pretty sure that it wasn't when. No, that's wrong. Yeah, we were pretty sure it wasn't if there was going to be a nuclear war, it was when. And we all prepped a bit. We all bought tins of beans and put them at the back of the cupboard. A lot of good they'd have done, I guess. Because it was a bad time. The very early 80s, it wasn't until Chernobyl in the mid-80s where the Russia started to fall to bits that it was terrifying. And I remember having nightmares about... But when it was thundering and lightning, I used to have nightmares about nuclear war. I used to watch TV shows about it. I read books as a teenager onwards. And it's a bit of an obsession of mine, nuclear war is. So weirdly, I was quite late to the party with Fallout. And I think that's because I do this thing sometimes when there's something I'm really, really into that I think is going to be too close to the bone, I step back from, because I don't want to be disappointed. And I've done that a couple of times with a few other things, but Fallout was something that I never really was aware of, whether I deliberately distanced myself or whether I just missed out on it. Because when was it a PS2? I think it was PS2. It might have been late PS1 era. And at that time, I've never bought new games. This generation is the game console where I've bought the most new games that have just been released. I normally wait 6 months or so, because I'm not a rabid, I'm not like, I must play it. I've never gone to a midnight sale. So it's always best to wait a little bit and then, drop on it a bit cheaper, or wait for it to be patched these days, or, just generally see what the buzz is and see if it's worth it. Because sometimes, how many AAA games have you bought and it's just been pants? So for some reason, I never caught on with Fallout. And it wasn't until PS3 era, and even quite late into PS3 era, that I played New Vegas. And I've got to tell you, it was love at first sight. I loved it. Yes, it was old-fashioned when I was playing it, because I think I was playing it in like 2015, and by then it was a 4 or 5 year old game. I had the original version, and then I've since upgraded to the Goity one, the Ultimate Edition with all the other stuff that you get. And I played it to death. And I never saw the point in replaying it, because half the surprise is finding the map and finding the places. So I've got just one meta save where I haven't done everything, but I don't think anyone's ever done anything on a Fallout game, especially the more recent ones. They're huge, aren't they? And then New Vegas was sort of the benchmark for me for single-player story games, because there was just something to do everywhere, and everywhere you went, there was somewhere to look. And also, because you're on foot, even though the map's actually quite compact, because you're on foot, everything feels a distance away. And what also blew my mind, and I don't know whether any of you know this, but if you look at Google Maps of that kind of area, it's all real. All of those places are real places. And I never really thought about that in a game before. A lot of times games are sort of fictional places, but Fallout New Vegas, like Good Springs is a real place, Gene is a real place, Prim is a real place. The only fictional place is Novak. Everywhere else is real. And you know what? You look at the map and they're not far off. If you live around there, it must be spooky as all hell. because your neighbourhood's like nuked up. So anyway, I'm a big fan, like I'm saying, of Fallout New Vegas. Got myself a Pip-Boy. Yeah, I'm low on ammo. And also, Fallout New Vegas was one of the first games that used to make me laugh, where you knew you were about to get absolutely hammered when you were just walking along and then your disc just span up. You're like, oh God, here we go. You just had them few seconds of just, oh, I'm enjoying the scenery. There's some mountains over there. There's a hut over there. I think I might go and see if there's any Radaway in it. Ooh, and you hear your disc spin up and you think, oh, here come them Romans. Because I made friends with Boone. Boone is a double-edged sword because he makes it easier. He's almost a cheat mode, Boone is, because you just give Boone a really good gun and you say, go murdering, and he goes off murdering for you, and you just see your XP level go up and he's off like shooting things in the face. The problem with Boone is that he winds up the Romans and they come at you, bro. And I hate to admit it, and I know you're going to say get good, but I did have to wind the difficulty down at one particular point. In the road between Novak and the trading post on the crossroads of the interstate where you meet Veronica, there's like a bit where you just keep getting bumped by this really hard Roman squad, and they were like Legion, and they were double tough, and they were just rinsing me. And there was one time I just turned and cheesed it to Helios 1, and there's all kinds of California Republic troops milling around. So these 4 or 5 Romans followed me, and they just minced through everyone. They just killed all the NCR troops at the Helios 1, and they were all assault rifles and stuff. I was like, this is not happening. So I cranked the difficulty down and then enjoyed the story a lot more, to be fair. So sometimes you don't have to get good, you just wimp out. So yeah, so I've got the Pip-Boy, which I enjoy. I've got a little stand for it. I didn't buy that with the game. I bought that off a lady last Christmas off Gumtree. And I actually got quite a good price, paid quite a good price for it, because you can pay a lot for Pip-Boy, especially in good condition. But when Fallout 4 came out, they did a better one, and I've seen it in game, and I was like, oh, should I? And the time I saw it in game was the time I didn't have like money to justify it. If I'd seen it a couple of months before, I'd have just bought like 3. But at that particular time, it had been reduced, and I stepped back, and that's a bit of a regret. But yeah, Fallout New Vegas, Chandler was crap in it, and I don't get it why, because apparently he's a really big video games fan, and he really wanted to be a part of Fallout. So what's his name, Chandler, in it? I don't know, that youth out of Friends who plays Benny, and he just phoned it in. He's terrible, and I'm surprised, although cocaine's a hell of a drug in it. And I don't think this was at the best time for Chandler, whoever he is. Not Matt LeBlanc, the other one. But then I got a PS4, and one of the first games I bought, because I'm a big fan, is I bought Fallout 4. Fallout 4. I never know how to stop saying it. Fallout 4. Fallout 4. This one. And I didn't enjoy... I enjoyed it, and I loved the fact that a lot of the things I liked from Fallout New Vegas were still there. The slightly quirky comedy bit, it felt like they just modernised the graphics so that it felt familiar. But I don't know whether it was, maybe I think, I wasn't particularly keen on the base crafting, but also it was such a dank and unromantic environment. You know, post-apocalypse in the desert. You got your Mad Maxes and your stuff like that, and your battle truck and all your good nuclear war films. You know, this is set in where is it? Is it Boston? And everywhere's just damp and dank and rotting, and there's no life there, as opposed to Fallout New Vegas, where there's life everywhere, because House's lasers had like protected the city. And it felt a bit bleak, too bleak maybe. And I never really finished it, which is a shame, because I'm a big fan, like I said. So that was my take on it, really. I've got a steelbook for this somewhere, but I don't know where it's gone. I doubt it's gone forever, but it's frustrating when you lose stuff, isn't it? It winds me up. So that's my relationship with Fallout, pretty much. I mean, I still love it. And, you know, I got this for Christmas off my dear lady wife. And typical Bethesda, he doesn't hold it level. He's supposed to hold your controller or your phone. And he's a bit wonky out of the box. But that's Bethesda for you. I haven't got Fallout 76 yet. And I don't know whether I ever will. Although part of me wants to explore that map because it looks magnificent. And I really want to walk around the vault that's all pretty, because vaults always terrify me. They always make me feel, oh. And there's always something round the corner that's about to get you. I always feel quite intimidated in vaults. So I'd like to be in a vault where it's all nice and, you know, pleasant. But you're only there for a little bit, aren't you? And then you cast out into Virginia. But I worry that it was the wrong choice for Bethesda anyway. And you know what? I feel a bit bad because Bethesda and Rockstar always seem to be the two game creators that are on our side a little bit. Like GTA 5, you can get microtransactions, you can get shark cards. They're not even microtransactions, they're like 35 quid transactions. I've got everything up to a point on that game, only because I stopped playing. But I got everything you could ever want on that game, and I got one shark card that I got free when I got the game. The rest of it I earned and I bought. All the supercars, businesses, the lot. So you don't have to have microtransactions with a Rockstar game. I'm a big fan of Rockstar. I think they meet us halfway, and they managed to juggle making money off us from giving us a good product. Whereas Bethesda, I think the thing is, and here's the other thing, New Vegas ain't even Bethesda, is it? It's Obsidian. And even that's wonky. Bethesda, so I don't want to rag on Bethesda, because like I say, this is a happy zone, a positive zone. But I think that sometimes Bethesda don't help themselves. I am very excited for Outer Worlds though. It looks a bit Firefly, looks a bit Fallout-y, made by Obsidian, who did a good job with New Vegas, in my humble opinion. And that's me really talking about Fallout. One day I'll try and get hold of the original games, Fallout 1 and 2, because I'd like to have a stab. But I've never seen them, I've never actively hunted them. And the Great River that I like to buy things from, it's a continuum like Nog on DS9. If the universe wants me to have one, it'll send one my way, and it hasn't yet. So, thanks for watching as ever. If you've enjoyed it, like and subscribe. Comment if you've got an opinion on Bethesda or Fallout. And I hope you've enjoyed this video. I've definitely enjoyed doing it. And I've definitely enjoyed wearing my Pip-Boy for a bit. But it gets a bit sweaty. Although it goes well with the helmet, doesn't it? Anyway, have a lovely weekend. I'll see you soon.